Hey everybody, I'm that Punk Trekkie that your parents warned you about, and guess what? We're going to go through some rock and roll history here and now. So, grab on to your favorite music and hold on for this amazing ride. First and foremost, we're going to start the very beginning in this video, which is actually swing and jump blues. So this takes us back to the 1930s and 40s with swing music, which was a section of brass, such as trumpets, trombones, and so on and so forth. Woodwinds, such as clarinets and saxophones, actually flutes didn't really have much of a place in a swing big band. And rhythm and occasionally vocals, violin, or guitar. So we can almost trace back the beginning of swing to two different points in history. First and foremost, the idea of a big band swing group can go to Paul Whitman. Now Whitman took a orchestra and decided, I'm going to take symphony music and jazz and just morph it. And therefore, big band was formed. And with that, you can sort of imagine in the 1940s and 1930s going to a dance hall, and along one wall you'd have the bandstands, and there you would have your band playing the music while everybody else dances. This is, of course, where the idea of swing dancing came in, and it still remains a very popular form of dance today. Likewise, in Harlem in 1931, there was a man by the name of Charles Webb, pretty much started swing music in general, and he has been cited as the beginner of swing. And it would have progressed a lot quicker and sooner had the nightclub business not have been shut down due to the Great Depression. Now, during this time period, white Caucasian people mainly listened to sweet bands, and then with the introduction of Benny Goodman at the Plomar Ballroom brought about 10 years of swing music. Now, with this, it made swing the most popular music type in America. Sadly, in the 1940s, the love of swing began to decline with the entrance of the U.S. into World War II. And I say that because it became hard to staff big bands with musicians because there was people being deployed over to fight in World War II. And it also became more expensive for everyone to actually transport the musicians and the instruments and the music and everything else from place to place to place, again, due to the fact that World War II was also happening at the same time. Sadly, there were also the musician strikes of 1942 to deal with, and also one in 1948. During that same time period, in 1948, there were no records being made legally. Of course, there were small businesses trying to sell records, but illegally. Call it the music prohibition if you really wish. Now, the ban was lifted in January of 1949. Of course, the ban was lifted in 1949, but by that time, the music had already evolved from swing to what we might consider a more modern pop version of music, and also something called jump blues. Now, jump blues was what swing has essentially evolved into, and it is also what evolves into rock and roll or R&B. Pretty much, jump blues is an up-tempo version of blues, which was played by small groups in probably small bars. They mainly played brass and brass woodwind, so saxophone and your trumpets, and it evolved from the musicians groups such as Lucky Millinder and Lionel Hampton. Now, jump was especially popular in the late 1940s and early 1950s. It led to artists such as, I'm going to read this for you. Artists such as Louis Jordan, Big Joe Turner, Roy Brown, Charles Brown, Helen Humes, T-Bone Walker, Roy Milton, Billy White, Wynonie Harris, and Sonny Terry and Brownie McGhee. And from their music, we can start to see the evolution into blues and R&B, which will be the beginning of the next video, which we're going to talk about from blues to rock and how the blues that we see during the jump blues, the 1940s and 1950s, magically evolved into rock and roll by the end of the 1950s. So, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you learned a little something about the history of rock and roll. And I cannot wait to come back with you in a while, in a minute, and tell you guys about what it was like between blues and rock and roll before we start getting into the really hardcore stuff. So, that's that. If you would like to beam me up into your subscribe list, boldly hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. Any questions, comments, or concerns, please state down in the comment section. As always, remember to donate to either the Elton John AIDS Foundation or the Joey Ramone Lymphoma Foundation. They're both amazing, amazing things that you can help make a difference with. So, always remember to donate to Rock and Roll for a Cure and Elton John AIDS Foundation. And until next time, live long and punk rock.